Hello, welcome back to Appreciating Literature. Today we are going to start with the prose section, and we have a prose lesson titled On Doors, and the author is Christopher Morley. We'll start with the author's biography. We have a beautiful quotation from Christopher Morley. The courage of the poet is to keep ajar the door that leads into madness. So again, the word door is coming there. Christopher Morley was born on 5th May 1890 and died on 28th March 1957. He was an American journalist, novelist, essayist and poet. In fact, he was a versatile writer. He also produced stage productions, that is dramas, for a few years and gave college lectures. Morley was born in Bryn Mawr, Pennsylvania. His father, Frank Morley, was a mathematics professor at Haverford College. His mother, Lillian Janet Bird, was a violinist who provided Christopher with much of his later love for literature and poetry. So, from that it is very clear that it was his mother who was an inspiration behind him, behind his literary career. In 1900, the family moved to Baltimore, Maryland. In 1906, Christopher entered Haverford College, graduating in 1910 as valedictorian. So, valedictorian is the kind of honor given to the best student of the year during the graduation ceremony. So, during that ceremony, it was he who was supposed to give the valedictory address. He then went to New College, Oxford for 3 years on a Rhodes Scholarship, studying modern history. In 1913, Morley completed his Oxford studies and moved to New York City. On June 14, 1914, he married Helen Booth Fairchild, with whom he would have 4 children, including Louis Morley Cochrane. They first lived in Hempstead and then in Queens Village. They then moved to Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, and in 1920 they made their final move to a house they called Green Escape in Roslyn Estates, New York. They remained there for the rest of his life. In 1936, he built a cabin at the rear of the property, which he maintained as his writing study from then on. So, he built a cabin which was named the Knot Hall, and he used to write there. In 1951, Morley suffered a series of strokes which greatly reduced his voluminous literary output. So, due to his continuous strokes, he was not able to bring out a lot of books as he used to. He died on 28th March 1957 and was buried in the Roslyn Cemetery in Nassau County, New York. After his death, 2 New York newspapers published his last message to his friends. So it is a message to everyone. It is so relevant even today. The message is: read every day something no one else is reading. Think every day something no one else is thinking. Do every day something no one else would be silly enough to do. It is bad for the mind to continually be part of unanimity. Actually, he is calling upon us to be different, to do something different from other people. That's what makes you what you are. Because today the world is looking for people who think differently, not like everybody else. So the essay starts. The opening and closing of doors are the most significant actions of man's life. What a mystery lies in doors. So according to Morley, the opening and closing of doors are very important, very significant in everybody's life, because a lot of mysteries lie behind doors. No man knows what awaits him when he opens a door. Even the most familiar room where the clock ticks and the hearth glows red at dusk may harbor surprises. The plumber may actually have called while you were out and fixed that leaking faucet. So even the very familiar room where we have been or where we live almost every day, even that room can hide or conceal a lot of surprises. Maybe while you are out, the plumber must have come and repaired the leaking tap. So that becomes a surprise for you. Here, hearth means fireplace. Where in cold countries and all that, they keep this hearth burning almost all the time. The cook may have had a fit of the vapors and demanded her passports. So sometimes another suspense or another surprise could be that your maid or servant must have left because she was mentally upset. So fit of the vapors means mental depression, and demand her passports. Usually the owner keep the passports. When he or she wants to leave, they will ask you. The wise man opens his front door with the humility and a spirit of acceptance. So here he is telling that a person who is wise will open the door with the spirit of humility and also acceptance. So he doesn't rebel or he doesn't react to the situations. He keeps a cool and calm head. Which one of us has not sat in some anteroom and watched the inscrutable panels of a door that is full of meaning? Perhaps you are applying to a job. Perhaps you had some deal you were ambitious to put over. So here anteroom is a small room outside a big office room, where the candidates or people waiting to see somebody, and they will be waiting there. So inscrutable means impossible to understand. So we don't know what is lying beyond that door. So that door had a lot of meaning to you because you understood or you know that what is going to happen inside that room can decide your fate sometimes, if it is a job or if it is a business deal. You watch the confidential stenographer flit in and out, carelessly turning that mystic portal which to you revolved on hinges of fate. And then the young woman said, "Mr. Cranberry will see you now." As you grasped the knob, the thought flashed, "When I open this door again, what will have happened?" So as you are anxiously waiting in front of that office, the stenographer comes and opens the door for you, announcing that Mr. Cranberry will see you. And as you are entering that door or portal, you will be thinking what would have happened when you open the door again. So here, revolved on hinges of fate, that means the door is very important, very significant for you, because what is happening inside that room can change your life, can alter your course of life. There are many kinds of doors. Revolving doors for hotels, shops and public buildings. These are typical of the brisk, bustling way of modern life. So here he is introducing different types of doors for us. First one is the revolving door. You have a picture there, and these are the doors for hotels, shops, and public buildings. And they are, of course, a symbol of the busy urban life, where people are all busy and they have no time for anything. And can you imagine John Milton or William Penn skipping through a revolving door? No. So, this poet and writer will not be running through this kind of busy doors. You can't imagine that, because they would have loved a very quiet life, maybe very close to a forest or something, not in the city. Then there are the curious little slatted doors that still swing outside denatured bar rooms and extend only from shoulder to knee. You have an example of a slatted door there where the lady is standing by. Of course, here the writer is referring to a bar room door, and the door is not full. It is only a 3/4 of a door, because the bottom part is open. That's the meaning of door that extend only from shoulder to knee. Here the the door of the bar room is denatured or damaged, because people push very hard after when they come out of that bar room. Then there are trap doors, sliding doors, double doors, stage doors, prison doors, glass doors. For those of you who don't know what is a trap door, there is a picture there on the right side top. So it is usually on a floor. You can't easily notice that. Maybe you open that door to go into a cellar or to the underground room. That is trap door. Then the sliding door, of course, you have a picture there, a glass and a sliding door there. But the symbol and mystery of a door resides in its quality of concealment. So according to the author, the meaning or the quality of door, it is a quality of concealment. Concealment means hiding. So a door cannot be called a door unless it hides something. A glass door is not a door at all, but a window, because glass cannot conceal or hide anything. So he doesn't call it a door, but it's a window. The meaning of a door is to hide what lies inside, to keep the heart in suspense. So according to him, that is the very purpose of a door, to hide what lies inside, so that the heart will be in suspense and eager to know what lies beyond. Also, there are many ways of opening doors. And then he comes with the first type of opening doors. There is a cheery push of elbow with which the waiter shouts open the kitchen door when he bears in your tray of supper. So you can imagine a waiter coming with food in both of his hands. So naturally he will not be able to open the door with his hands, so he has to push the door with his elbow, but he is very happy. There is the suspicious and tentative withdrawal of a door. Suspicious means doubtful, or tentative means again not sure. So this suspicious or tentative withdrawal of a door before the unhappy book agent. Book agent is a person who is in charge of publishing, or literary agent who is promoting a sale of books, or peddler. Peddler is a seller. Here he must be taking an example from his own life, because as a writer he must have been depending on his book agent who is promoting his books, or he is instrumental in selling of his books. So again there is a kind of lot of anticipation, lot of uncertainty when the book agent is coming and when you are opening the door for him, because you are not sure whether your books are going to be a hit or not, is going to be successful or not. There is a genteel and carefully modulated recession with which footmen swing wide the oaken barriers of the grate. You can see in the picture 2 footmen standing there in front of a big door. So usually you find this kind of people waiting in front of maybe in front of palaces or rich people's house. So they will be very gentle. Gentle means extra polite, extra gentle they will be. And carefully modulated recession. Modulated means here recession is of course moving back. So when they are opening the door, they will be very slowly moving back. They will be taking a lot of attention to see that they don't make much noise while opening the door. And what kind of doors are they? Oaken barriers. Oak means made of oak. Oak tree is supposed to be very costly and of good quality. So naturally they will be found on the doors of big people like the kings and all that. Then there is the sympathetic and awful silence of the dentist maid who opens the door into the operating room and without speaking implies that the doctor is ready for you. So there is another way of opening which is sympathetic, and also there is awful silence. Sympathetic means maybe that maid or servant is sympathizing with you, thinking about what is going to happen to you in the dentist room while the dentist is pulling out your teeth. Awful again means fear inspiring. Then there is the brisk cataclysmic opening of a door when the nurse comes in very early in the morning. It is a boy. So as a husband you are waiting in front of the labor room, and then the nurse comes in and then announces that it's a boy. Cataclysmic means sudden and violent, because the nurse is very in a hurry actually. Doors are the symbol of privacy, of retreat, of the mind's escape into blissful quietude or sad secret struggle. Sometimes the doors become symbols of privacy or retreat. Retreat means withdrawing from the world, trying to be alone, maybe to reflect, maybe to pray, meditate and all that, because the mind is trying to escape into a blissful quietude. Blissful means extremely happy. So there are people who enjoy solitude, loneliness, stillness, or sad secret struggle. When you are going through some struggles, personal problems, again you can withdraw into your room and then brood over that without being disturbed by other people. A room without doors is not a room but a hallway. So in the previous paragraph we saw about glass door. Here he is telling that a room without doors is not a room at all, it is a hallway. No matter where he is, a man can make himself at home behind a closed door. So wherever you are, you can be happy if you are behind a closed door. That's what the author is telling. The mind works best behind closed doors. So people like him who are writers, they definitely need a lot of stillness, a lot of silence, so that they can write without any interruption. Men are not horses to be herded together. So we are not like other animals who move together, who live together and all that. Herded means crowding together. Dogs know the meaning and anguish of doors. Dogs are the man's best friends, but still we put them behind the doors, behind the lock. Have you ever noticed a puppy yearning at a shut portal? It is a symbol of human life. So you look at the picture there and see the face of that puppy. It's very sad, right? Yearning means desperately desiring for something. That's the meaning of yearning. So according to the author, that dog inside the cage is a symbol of human life. Why does he say that? Maybe our life is also sometimes like this puppy's life. We are locked in. That means it lacks freedom. Maybe that's what he means. The opening of doors is a mystic act. It has in it some flavor of the unknown. So here the word mystic is used instead of mysterious, not exactly the spiritual meaning. Because there is an element of unknown. Flavor here means taste. So whenever you open the door, you have to expect something unknown to you. Maybe you find something new inside the door. Some sense of moving into a new moment. So from the past moment you are going to the present moment. Maybe a new step ahead of you. A new pattern of the human rigmarole. Rigmarole means commotion. So he pictures human life as a kind of disorder, commotion. So maybe a new pattern will emerge as you open a door. Something good is going to happen. It includes the highest glimpses of mortal gladness. Here again there could be moments of extreme happiness for human being when you open a door sometimes. Maybe it is a new vista for you, a new opportunity which can give you extreme happiness. That is the meaning of glimpses of mortal gladness. Mortal means here human, or it can also mean temporary. Mortal means actually liable to death. That is meaning mortem. The word mortal comes from mortem, post-mortem, death. That is the meaning predominant there. So mortal gladness means your happiness will not last for long. That's meaning. Even all our happiness like that. It's momentary, but still it can give you a lasting happiness. That's meaning. Lasting means comparatively lasting. Of reunions, reconciliations. Sometimes there could be moments of reunions, people coming and meeting after a long time, or reconciliation, restoring friendly relationships. Maybe your lost friend is coming back. Maybe you are not very friendly after all, but you can forget that differences and then come together. There are the bliss of lovers long parted. So due to some misunderstanding, maybe the lovers were living apart, separated. So they can come together. That will give you a lot of bliss. Bliss means again a lot of happiness. Even in sadness, the opening of a door may bring relief. So even when you are upset, when you think you have lost everything, maybe somebody will open a door and give you some good news. It changes and redistributes human forces. Here redistributes means rearranges. Here human forces means human destiny or human conditions. So maybe when a door is opening, it is bringing you a new hope, a new opening. But the closing of doors is far more terrible. So there are certain kind of closing of doors which can be very, very terrible. It is a confession of finality. Sometimes, the door is shut on you and you can't open it. You can't go back. That is final. You can't change it. Every door closed brings something to an end. So when a door is shut on you, that means you won't get a second chance. And there are degrees of sadness in the closing of doors. So it depends on who closes the door, how close that person is to you. So the degree of sadness will depend on that, or the situation. How important was that event or incident that happened before closing the door. A door slammed is a confession of weakness. Slamming the door is very rough and tough. When you are angry, you slam the door shut, banging the door. But actually, that's a admission of your weakness. That means that is something that cannot be or should not be done. A door gently shut is often the most tragic gesture in life. Sometimes even a gentle closing of the door can be very tragic or very painful to us. Everyone knows the seizure of anguish that comes just after the closing of a door. Sometimes that closing of the door can throw you into a terrible pain or mental agony. When the loved one is still near, within sound of voice, and yet already far away. So, when the loved one is closing the door on you, he or she may be just behind the door next to you, but still you know they are very, very far away already. The opening and closing of doors is a part of the stern fluency of life. Here, stern fluency means very rough flow of life. Stern means rather rude, rough and tough. So life can be very tough at times, and the opening and closing of doors is a part of that rough life. Life will not stay still and let us alone. So just like the river that is flowing, life also will not stop for us. It will go on moving and moving ahead. It will not wait for you. We are continually opening doors with hope, closing them with despair. So we open the door with a lot of hope, maybe hoping for a better life situation, maybe hoping for a better job, maybe waiting for some permission, some certificates. And when you don't get that, you will close that door behind you with despair. Life lasts not much longer than a pipe of tobacco, and destiny knocks us out like the ashes. So here he is bringing in a beautiful imagery of life, the symbol of a pipe of tobacco. And our life can be like the ashes of that cigar or cigarette, which is just knocked out, just like that, without any sympathy. So that's a beautiful image of human life, that burning tobacco pipe. That means human life is gradually burning out, and it says that it is not lasting long. The closing of a door is irrevocable. Irrevocable means it cannot be turned back. You can undo that. What is done is done. It snaps the pack thread of the heart. It breaks the thread of your heart sometimes. It is very painful. It is no avail to reopen, to go back. Sometimes some of the doors that is shut on you, you can't go back to that. That was the final closing. And Pinero, playwright, spoke nonsense when he made Paola Tanguri say, "The future is only the past entered through another gate." So these are the words of Paola Tanguri in that drama titled "The Second Mrs. Tanguri." So here he is thinking, or at least he is giving the idea of a future that is a kind of repetition of the past. But according to Morley, that is utter rubbish, nonsense. Why it is so? Because there is no other gate. You can't enter through the past or through the future. There is no gate as such. When the door is shut, it is shut forever. There is only one door for the past, and once it is shut, you can't open it again. The past is past. There is no other entrance to that vanished pulse of time. So human beings have not invented a time machine so far to go back into the past. And there is a famous quotation from Omar Khayyam, the famous Persian writer: "The moving finger writes and having writ." We will see the full quotation. "The moving finger writes and having writ moves on, nor all thy piety nor wit shall lure it back to cancel half a line, nor all thy tears wash out a word of it." So the moving finger definitely belongs to God. He is the one who is writing our fate. and once it is written, you can't erase that, you can't change a line, you can't change even a letter. However close you are to God, whether you had a highest degree of piety or wit or intelligence, whatever it is, nothing is going to change that. We come to the last part of this poem, this essay. There is a certain kind of door shutting that will come to us all. The kind of door shutting that is done very quietly, with a sharp click of the latch to break the stillness. They will think then, one hopes, of our unfulfilled decencies, rather than of our pluperfected misdemeanors. Then they will go out and close the door. I think you must have got some hint about this paragraph from that imagery given there. The last door that is going to shut on all of us, right? You can't escape that door. The kind of door shutting that is done very quietly, with a sharp click of the latch to break the stillness. Of course, when you are inside the box like that, there will be stillness, silence around, and even that slight sound of clicking of that latch can break the stillness. Then they will think of your unfulfilled decencies, that means your lack of moral behavior. Here it means your serious mistakes or the sins or crimes you have committed, rather than of our pluperfected misdemeanors, that means what you have done in the past, your minor mistakes. So they will be thinking of your serious mistakes rather than your minor mistakes. Then they will go out and close the door once and for all. So with that we have come to the end of this essay on doors. Till we meet again for the next class, it is goodbye. Thank you.